It started like every athlete's off-season fantasy: champagne, cards, and star power. A retired NFL player was hosting what looked like a luxury poker night for friends and fellow athletes. Cameras off, buy-ins high, and everyone convinced it was just another flex night for the rich and restless. But underneath the laughter and cigars was something darker, a setup wired for disaster. Because this wasn't just any poker game, it was a front. A rigged, high-stakes trap that ended with one player out $1 million and an entire gambling ring tied straight back to the NBA's mob probe. Reports claim the retired star wasn't running the table. He was the bait. The invite list looked harmless: influencers, former pros, and a few familiar NBA faces, all meeting in a private suite at a downtown hotel. No cameras, no posts until after the game, just exclusive vibes, as one guest called it. The host? A retired NFL player with enough charm and name recognition to make everyone feel safe. But the energy was off. People noticed the same few players raking in stacks, while others couldn't catch a break. Drinks kept coming, side bets got weird, and whispers started about NBA money floating through the room. Reports later suggested the entire setup was pre-scripted. The cards, the flow, even who'd lose big that night. What looked like a luxury hangout was actually bait for something far more deliberate. That night, one player walked away broken down over $1 million in what was supposed to be a friendly game. He wasn't some reckless gambler either. Reports say he'd been invited as a guest, not a shark. But by the end, chips vanished, hands looked suspicious, and the house never felt neutral. When the story broke, insiders said the victim was shell-shocked, realizing too late he'd been maneuvered into losing. Investigators now believe the loss wasn't a coincidence. It was the payout. Every move that night funneled money toward certain players who were allegedly connected to the larger NBA gambling network. The FBI took notice fast, and suddenly that one bad night looked like a key piece in a far bigger game. This poker sting didn't happen in isolation. It surfaced right as federal agents were circling an NBA-linked gambling ring already under investigation for mob involvement and money laundering. Same cities, same faces, different sport, same network. Reports suggest several names tied to the poker night had already appeared in confidential FBI files connected to the NBA probe. The overlap was too clean to ignore. What started as whispers about friendly bets between athletes now looked like organized coordination. Agents believe the poker games were used to move cash quietly between insiders, a laundering loop disguised as luxury entertainment. And according to one insider, this wasn't even the biggest table. It was just the one that slipped. Rumors say the retired NFL player at the center of it all wasn't the mastermind. He was the mask. Reports claim he was brought in as the face of the operation, a familiar name to lure in wealthy players who'd never question his credibility. His job wasn't to cheat, it was to make the setup look legitimate. Behind him, sources point to a crew of shadow organizers connected to both sports betting and private investment circles. They handled the logistics, the guests, and even the cash-outs. The NFL star just smiled for the room. But here's the catch. Some insiders think he knew exactly what was happening. Others say he got played too, caught between friendship, greed, and a deal that spiraled out of control. Everything about the operation screamed success: the penthouses, the tailored suits, the champagne towers. Social clips from the night showed athletes laughing, flashing diamond watches, and surrounded by luxury cars and designer bags. It looked like harmless flexing, but that image was part of the illusion. Reports say the lavish optics weren't just for show, they were camouflage. The poker games blended seamlessly into the athlete party scene, hiding in plain sight as another night of excess. Even the women, the jets, and the photo ops all served as distractions from what was really being moved behind the scenes. Fans thought they were watching lifestyle content. In reality, they were watching a money scheme wrapped in Versace and bravado. When the story hit the press, silence followed. The retired NFL player vanished from social media overnight, and his agent declined to comment. Meanwhile, reports claim several regulars at the poker nights have already fled the country or hired legal teams. Nobody wants to be the next name leaked to investigators. Inside league circles, paranoia is spreading. NBA figures tied to the gambling probe are reportedly cutting ties and scrubbing old photos. The poker network's collapse has exposed just how close athletes, fixers, and underground financiers had gotten. And for the first time, players across multiple leagues are realizing it's not just a bad look anymore. It's a federal trial. What began as one poker night among athletes now looks like a blueprint for cross-sport corruption. A retired NFL player used as bait, NBA figures entangled in mob-linked gambling, and millions circulating under the guise of friendly competition. The deeper investigators dig, the clearer it gets. This wasn't an isolated hustle. It was infrastructure. Every hand dealt, every fake smile, every lucky win built toward a system meant to blend greed with glamour. The poker table was just the stage. Behind it stood the real players, faceless, connected, and still untouched. One man's million-dollar loss didn't just expose a scam. It cracked open a network the leagues never wanted anyone to see. That's the hidden game behind the headlines. The scams, the stakes, the faces nobody expected. If you're into athlete drama, secret deals, and off-field chaos, you already know where to stay locked in. Subscribe to Control Plus Style, hit that like, and share it before the next scandal drops.